And Hall of Fame time is over. Going on YouTube world. Steve, at some point, Vinny, Dave, IRP, Highway 169.
Maybe a Bob sighting. Who knows?
Well, yeah, so the link is out there in the Ethernet. So there's other folks that have it. And what's going on, Yannick? Paul.
Yep. It's like,
Mike.
well, we got Yannick, Mike, Tyrone.
Tyrone is here.
Tyrone, yep.
um,
Hey, Mike. Quick question, and my memory is shit, but I'm pretty sure I remember when we had you on. And yes, I'm gonna say the incorrect team name on purpose.
that's who we
It still
collect.
feels weird, but it is the Redskins
Yeah.
on the football side. Okay, that's what I thought. So who else did we have on recently around the same time as Mike, who was a Giants guy?
Because I know we had Lou about the same time.
We've never had Lou.
Are you sure? Thought we had him
I'm,
on.
we've missed out with Lou. We've tried to have him on. If we've had Lou on, I've obviously been like lost in a daze.
Tyrone, when he pulled, what the hell? He pulled something out of the finest box? Like a Derek Carr auto? A blue?
Yes, that I remember.
And again, that's episode 20.
But that was Raiders. That was Ty.
That was 150 episodes ago. That.
Who did we have on though around the time we had Mike on? Was it?
I know we had Dazzler.
Was it Fox Crew?
Yeah, we had him. Where I want to get him back on and sort of bundle more of baseball info, because I think we talked baseball for a little while and sort of shockingly derailed off that subject. And I want to get him, get Matt back on. And
who I was somebody, because there's a reason why I'm asking, of course. One I could remember, and I know it was because we had somebody on that we had never had on before, and they mentioned Giants. And I can't remember if it was Fox Crew Cards or if it was Dustin. Like I'm drawing a blank. But it was right around the time that we had Mike on.
Yeah, because we had a run of folks in like a March, April of last year. So
yeah, I'm drawing a blank. If anybody knows or remembers, I'll rely on y'all.
jog our memories. Some stuff we remember incredibly well, like Tyrone pulling a Derek Carr like blue refractor auto, and there's other stuff where we should remember, and it's just a 9 Inch Nails video. There's a scene missing. You're just like,
well, and that's the thing. Like, I know the conversation happened, and I know it had to do with a guest that we had because I was asking questions. Because since we talk about building relationships and everything else, we build relationship through cards. I have shit around here that would do better with somebody else. Since I'm a football guy, I'm going to ask questions related to football. And I was pretty sure that Mike was the Redskins guy, but for the life of me, I can't remember who the Giants guy was.
I don't think it's Matt and Mateo, because I'm pretty certain they're. I know when I've put like North Shore videos up, he's commented about him from like because he's from or he's from Minnesota or
In the realm, see, and that would make sense. Like
yeah,
that.
because nobody else up there is gonna say anything except like the Grandpa Simpson shouting at a cloud. I'm the Grandpa Simpson shouting at a lake.
But like
So,
Dustin does Vikings.
but I don't. Did we have him on?
I don't know, but
I
that's
don't.
what I'm saying. Like I know Dustin does Vikings.
Yep.
You know, he's shown off many feelings and things along.
'Cause I'm pretty sure he's from like Nashwauk, Keewatin area because I know he's mentioned that before. Matt, and
My
again, it's you try to remember, and again, this is our problem. You try to remember because that's how we are, like the details of people, and it's, again, because it's not just a catchphrase, it's not just like a little, oh, we know you, and then you come up to us and you're just like, milk carton. I don't know who is this. It's something that we try to remember, but it's tough. It is so.
well, and so in all fairness, since you know, no,
I
there's
don't.
not a new shtick, Joe.
I know.
Here's
I
the
know.
thing,
Eastern Connecticut, but we've never had him on. I think he's a Giants guy, but again,
but but see, here's the thing, like we are slowly getting more and more introduced with the newer echelon, I should say. Dave more so than me because Dave has been consistent for the entire time. I took a hiatus for reasons which I said, and not going to go into reasons. It's not important. Uh, Dave knows a lot of the reasons.
hashtag reasons.
Could it have been Snoop? I
It
don't
might
remember
have
Snoop.
been.
I don't remember Xavier being a Giants fan though.
I thought he was more Ravens, but again,
Hell, I don't know. It could have been. I just know it was around the time in which we were having more. I won't say newer people, new to the show people
yep.
on the show, making first time appearances and everything else. It could have been Xavier, possibly, because he was around the same time,
Yep.
and so was Aaron. Was
Yeah.
around that same time frame. And case in point, we've asked SGC Collector what his name is, and he's told us. And I'm like, oh, well, we should be able to remember that. And I've fucking forgotten already.
Again,
Like,
I because I think it's a change in the name too. Because usually, if I see a screen name, I can at least get the first letter. But I want to say
but
Mario,
it's,
but I don't know. I don't
see,
think
and
so.
that's,
I'm probably wrong.
I was thinking that or Tony. Why? I don't know, because it was like a combination of other people that we knew. And it's like, oh, well, we should be able to remember that. Because I know it wasn't another Mike. Mario, look at you go. Dave, kudo points for you.
Like I said, I'm usually I'm somewhere in that neighborhood. I'm on the right block. I mean, this isn't like the locks, but it's the D block, Dave. I know somewhere. I'm like, I'm usually grasping at straws, but somewhere amongst it is
I've
correct.
at least admitted. I've at least admitted.
Oh, I'm
It
the same
takes me a
way.
bit. It takes me a bit to like cement names in my head. I am the worst with that, and I hope nobody takes offense of it
Yeah,
because it's just me. It's
any of us.
not.
Yeah, it's all of us. We're all getting to that point where 10
Dave.
years ago,
No, Dave. No.
it is.
Maybe for you. I've always been that bad.
Well, see, at least say that then.
I've
10
always been that bad.
10 years ago, I could recall useless stuff. I can still do a lot of that, but there is a lot of times when I'm like, I know this person, and I look at them at the store. I'm like, I want to, again, somebody I usually talk to, a customer that I've known for 30 years throughout my life. And all I do is sit there and I look and I'm like, I've got to go in the back. I gotta like quickly like, okay, I get something else to bring out there or whatever if I'm gonna want to talk to him. Like for example, like a professor that used to be up at the college, and I sit there, I'm like, I wouldn't forget his name because I've known him literally all my life, and I've talked to him literally all my life. So it's not some person that you see maybe once or twice a month. There's people I talk to 10 minutes out there, sports, whatever's going on, and I'm like, I talk to you guys all the time, and my brain doesn't remember this. It's like file it away, and it just goes like right through the file into the incinerator. I'm like, well, thank you for remembering that. So yeah, it's you start doing that like wrestling. Try to remember wrestling. I try to remember cards. We're trying to remember like an insert set. Trying to remember pack odds. You're trying to remember people on here. Trying to remember videos you've watched of like the Hall of Fame stuff where you're sitting there and like, okay, am I subscribed to this guy? Why does this guy look familiar? And then you're like, shit, I am subscribed to him. I didn't even know that. But
that's a good question.
We will get to this.
That's a good question, Mario. Yep, we will.
Get...
We will touch on. We will touch on predictions, so to speak, and but we'll. I was going to say we'll definitely touch on that a little bit later.
I want to first, and obvious with the title of the show, I want to thank everyone who either voted for Steve, who voted for again me, which I'm always in the boat or don't. I don't care. I heard that in so many videos. I know he doesn't care to go in, or if he's in. It is correct. It's very much correct because we don't fit the standard norm for collectors that are on YouTube today. It's more, you know what you're pushing for, you know what people want to see. It's positivity and inclusivity, and a show that used to be on Tuesday nights that was their motto, and that went away. We want to be
you're trying to say that we're not inclusive of people? What?
Well, we are, but then when some people, like a genie in the bottle, rub us the wrong way, that inclusivity gets revoked. But,
no, it's because we're freaking opinionated.
Well, yes.
And there's a lot of opinionated people in the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame, I may add.
The guy that created
it. Just throwing that out there.
The guy that created it, I mean, if you have ever watched any of his deleted videos.
At the end of the day, we are more vocal with our opinions than others. I'll say it that way. How's that? Is that better?
We are not afraid to let our opinions be known. Good, bad, indifferent.
Very much so.
And I also want to thank everybody that voted for the IRP. It's something I'd rather have had everybody do. I know some people had their, I think who was it, Brad? Brad didn't want to vote. But again, it's a collective. It's not like a group of guys that got together and have been quote unquote collecting for like 6 years. This is a collective of people that have been in the hobby for basically a century. We just take me, Vinny, and Steve.
Over a century.
Well, I'm just it's very easy, very easy number when you say 100. People get the gist of things.
This is true.
So we're going schematics. I mean,
and two of us have been doing YouTube for a quarter of a century.
Yeah. It.
So
I don't know. I get where we connect with people because again, a lot of people don't want to. We know that better half. It's not. This isn't anything earth shattering. Next, you're gonna say the world is round. I mean, we know we're old.
coming from the person who's older than all of us. Oh, your secret's out, better half. Your secret's out.
But it's humbling to know you guys again for something like that where it's basically a glorified popularity contest. The people that are usually Switzerland seem to get in. Again, happy for everybody that got in. Whatever. That's what sort of shocked Carlos didn't get in. That was one that was I thought pretty much a shoe in.
He was close.
Yep.
He was close.
That will be the thing. Next year we will, if nothing else, just vote for the channel.
Vote for Dave. Vote for Dave. Vote for Dave. Vote for Dave. Vote for Dave.
Yeah, Orlando.
Mario, there's 5 who get in every year. 5 who get in.
And that's something and I don't know. I don't think it's
them. I called 4 of the 5.
Oh, I know.
I called 4 of the 5. The other one I didn't know anything about.
No, that one has no clue. You could put a lineup like a crime scene lineup, or like, hey, pick out the perpetrator, and I'd just be like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, just throw a dart and be like, that's it.
And here's the thing, like, maybe it didn't click in my head for those ballot videos that I watched, because that was not a name that I remembered hearing frequently. But at the same time, I'll be the first one to admit it. I watched a lot of ballot videos, but I didn't watch them all. I cheated on some of them.
I did a lot of the info box.
Yeah, looking at the description. And for those that were a little bit longer, I had a tendency to watch them because I was intrigued to hear what they had to say about some of said channels.
Especially when it's people that we're not familiar with.
100%. Because, and with all the BS and the controversy that goes with it, it really does introduce people to other channels. It does serve the purpose of the original intent. So from that perspective, it will always be a win, which is why I have voted now 2 years in a row. Granted, it's nothing like Dave, but I firmly believe in that being the basis of the creation of it. And it works. I have found some other channels. Other channels have found me. Why, I don't know, because my videos suck. I know my videos suck. But take it for what it's worth. I've said this before too. No disrespect to anybody. I don't make them for anybody but myself. Because it's a video archive of stuff for me. The only time I care about putting a video out is when somebody sends me something. That's when it's about making sure that that gets put out there.
Yep.
No matter how big or small it is. Because that is important. We are part of the community, and what continues to build community is by sending stuff to other people out of the kindness of your heart because you want to, not to gain subs, not to gain views. It's to do it because you really want to do it. Doesn't mean you have to do it. There's not a requirement. Like people who get in the Hall of Fame don't have to send out care packages. That's not what it's about either.
Yeah.
But it is about, I do like 4-leaf card statement, collect to connect. I really like that. That's very catchy. I really
Mhm.
like it. And we go through this collecting journey together. Like all of us. Love a channel, hate a channel, despise a channel, don't really care for the channel, don't agree with whatever. We are all in this together. And we all take the journey together. And if it wasn't for the IRP, and I say this all the time, Dave convincing me to do this on a whim, and me saying, okay, yeah, let's do it, not knowing what to expect. Here we are, almost 4 years. Well, what August will be 4 years, I think, Dave, including what was put on your channel initially.
Yep.
For almost 4 years, and going to the national last year and meeting and connecting with people that I didn't talk to, interact with, connect with previously, other than through the show. Because of this, Vinny has become the IRP. All the guests that we've had, sans maybe one, our IRP family.
Essentially all of them.
Nicely done. IRP family. We look out for each other. I know that there are people out there that want to be liked by everybody, that want to interact with everybody. And I think it's great. More power to you.
I trust that statement's true.
More power to you. But I learned a long time ago that unfortunately, not everybody's going to like you.
No, we should have learned that in like high school, if not grade school.
Remind me to talk to you about what me and Karen talked about with me, you, Karen, and Trav.
Okay.
Going on vacation in April, and then us doing it, all the four of us doing a dinner with Nikki coming up soon. Just remind me.
Okay, that's a lot to digest, but okay. I don't even remember what the hell I was saying. But other than the fact that, guess what? Not everybody's going to like you. So don't try and please everybody, because it's going to be a waste of time. Just throwing that out there. Personal experience.
As I say, suck the fun out of your hobby experience. We try to be
Take it from experience. Take it from experience. First starting out, interacting with a lot of people, engaging with a lot of people, being in with the various cliques, because yes, we had cliques in those days too. Not saying it's a bad thing. But you get to a point to where, like, and for me, I'm the same person. Ask anybody who's met me. Anybody here who met me. Hey, it's LA Pats. Hey, man. Mm-hmm. Good to see you. who met me at the National and ask him if I'm the same person as I am here. I'm the same person. Maybe less profanity in
Not me.
real life. Depends on the circumstance. I mean, come on. Let's face it. When you look at past episodes, have I gone on my profanity laced tirades? Absolutely. It depends on the topic, situation, how my day was, whatever. But it has to like strike a nerve for me to get that animated. I try my best not to. Partially because of my kids. Because you don't want your kids to pick up those bad habits. But like, I'm the same person. I'm not any different. And unfortunately, when you are the same person, you may or may not rub somebody the wrong way at some point. So don't be alarmed. Don't be discouraged. Don't get disappointed. Don't be a yes man and agree with everything, because you lose a part of yourself. And not saying that that's what I did. That's not what I'm going. It's not where I'm going with this. But you're, you're not gonna. Not everybody's gonna like you, no matter how hard you try. And it's when people talk about Dave. Dave can disagree with you, but you can still be really good friends, and you move on. Man of peace, I am not. Man of peace, I am not. Maybe in a past life. The older I get, the more opinionated I get, and the more times I open my mouth, and I don't care if I piss somebody off. I try and do it politically correct to not offend people, but I can piss off people, and I guess at some point, either you stick around and we're still friends, or you say, screw this guy, and all is well. But I do want to second Dave,
What's up, Scott?
getting votes, it is humbling to hear your name, whether it's not just to hear your name, or if somebody decides to expand or expound upon why they're voting for a channel. It is very humbling, especially for guys like Dave and I, because there's nothing special in our videos. Nothing. We point, click, shoot, record. We may stumble over our words. It just, there's nothing special about them. But for whatever reason, people like to see what we pick up. Dave at least has more of an extensive plethora of things he can show compared to me. 95% of what I'm going to show is Terrell Davis stuff, and eventually people get sick and tired of seeing Terrell Davis shit. Hell, I get sick and tired of seeing Terrell Davis shit. No, actually, I don't. That's not true. But it is humbling. The votes for the show is ultimately what we were trying to go for this year. Some listened, others didn't, for reasons, and it's not our place to judge or misjudge their reasons. They were all good reasons. But hopefully next year, hopefully, Maybe we need to campaign more. Like, do we need to send out free shirts for hashtag vote IRP for YTSHOF?
It's tough enough getting one video out a week. I don't want to be doing this stuff, but I'm not in a trust where I get like 4 videos out and edit, and I can't. I don't have the time, the willpower, the desire. Again, you see what's on my channel. It isn't card centric basically anymore.
Not lately. Not lately.
And I mean, again, I still have. There's a little pile over here, and I think there's a pile somewhere else. But most of the stuff that I've been getting in,
You have piles everywhere, Dave.
this is true. But I mean, recent acquisitions. Most of it's Christmas related.
Which I get.
So again, and I've said this. I'm having more fun searching those things, and
Here's the problem, Ty. They still wouldn't do it.
yeah,
And they take your $5 and be like, yeah, sure, well, I'll do it. And then they won't do it. So what purpose does it serve? Appreciate the offer.
yeah. We don't want to buy into that. We don't want to have anybody spend their money to try to get us into a Hall of Fame that doesn't exist.
Well, it is humbling. It's awesome to, like I said, to hear it. And each year it's grown since Jake has taken over, I think, which is a big accomplishment. Even with the controversy and the drama and stuff that kind of goes along with it.
Mm-hmm.
But for those who pay attention, though, it's collector centric. Hence the reason why there's only one breaker.
And again,
I know where you're going. I know where you're going. I know where you're going. They should not have been the first breakers to get in.
Not even close. I mean, there's 3 right off the top of my head with who's going to be number 1, and that's not just because he was on one of our episodes. It's because that's
been doing it a long time.
If you're in our generation, his first breaks are up in, I think, is it late 06, early 07? I thought 07, but I could be possibly wrong.
I think it goes back to 05 because it may have been 06 because I know he broke some 05 product, one being 05 Exquisite.
So I remember a lot of that stuff being in the store and Tattoo going in there. But
and Mr. NE.
Yep.
And for those who are curious, this ought to tell you how far we go back. Mr. NE was another guy who used to break for Chris at the Hobby Box, Cards Infinity, back when Tattoo also did it. I don't even know how the hell he got his name, but Mr. NE stands for Mr. No Emotion. Like he could pull the biggest card out of a product and would literally show like no excitement, no holy shit, this is or nothing.
Like Ben Stein, like when Ben Stein's money. Oh, what a pull!
So here's another one. Bringing up, I brought up the Veterans Committee last year.
I don't know why it went away. This is something I'd like to, and not to grill Jake, because again, I don't. In the end, it's now his
choice, his decision.
But why the two? And again, Eric brought it up in his video, like the Joe Ryan 30 good guy, and then he couldn't say it correctly, but ARL 77. Not Aflac. I love you, Eric. You know this. I've known him 25 years. But
longevity.
it's you got somebody that's into that might not have, and I don't even concentrate on me. There's so many other much more deserving channels out there. Thundering 24 would be the first. That would be the first guy, sans Chris from Cards Infinity.
From a longevity perspective?
I mean, again, he was on there, I think, in like 05. Like when YouTube started. He was on there. So I don't understand why. That makes no sense. And I've said it before. When you've got all these collectors that collect vintage, and again, not a knock on vintage, but you see a lot of these guys that go into the hall or in the veterans committee that, guess what? Okay, at the time it's just like, Then you go back and you start looking at numbers. You start weeding through some of the statistics, and you're like, this guy might not have been like, again, you're playing in an era with Mantle, Maris, Mays, Clemente, Farah, all these guys. And they sort of get like, they slip through the cracks because you're so fixated on a top 20 list. And a lot of these people just don't make videos. They don't care. I mean, that was part of their life.
Then.
And you should have, if they're still making them, that's when you start like saying, hey, this like a Fight on 5-2. James, I mean, he's been around. I think he came in the second or third wave, but he's been around and he shows a lot of his stuff. It's not necessarily card centric anymore. It's okay, my kids, I'm coaching football, doing all that stuff. But he's still on here.
Yep.
Hi.
And that's always the thing. It's I think a part of the reason why some of the older channels don't get the recognition is because they're not making videos.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't go back and check for specifics. But when this was first introduced in what? 18, 19, 17? When was it first introduced, Dave?
I want to say the second year because I think Michael got in that first year.
But what was the first?
I think.
Was it 2017 or 2018?
I want to say 18.
Okay, let's go with that.
Because I remember the build up because that's how I found, as I've said many a time, Bob and Scotty.
But Michael's number of videos were on the decline.
Oh, yes.
At that time. But a lot of people during the new ushering group of YouTube video makers, I'm not using the term content because most of us make videos.
Yep.
We don't make content, we make videos. His was declining.
Yeah.
At the time in which he was introduced. But a lot of people found him because of the popularity.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike, you're 100% right. Like, out of sight, out of mind. But even then, and this is kind of what I stand behind. If it wasn't for all of them, none of this wouldn't technically be here. Like, if none of those people made videos, none of the newer people would have stumbled across it and started making videos of their own. I could be wrong, but I would venture to state the vast majority of people who are on YouTube now stumbled across it at some point and started making videos because of what they saw previously.
eBay dude and some of those iconic
parodies.
Yeah.
parodies. Yep.
So
We didn't start the drama. So now, like Michael produced content.
yes.
That I will say is content. When you do stuff like that, I consider that content. What is going on, Mike? Good to see you, my friend.
Yes.
But he also made videos. Like he did both. So, like I get it. And Dave always circles back to Chris. Like I used to be really good friends with Chris. I've said it before. He and I used to chat, text, talk. Granted, that was years ago, but you know, even as a breaker, that was his business, his livelihood. He still interacted with YouTube channels. He would watch videos. He would leave comments on videos.
Yep. And he'd comment if you commented on his. It wasn't just like
There was a response on almost every comment if anybody posted one, and he would comment on a lot of people's videos. So
Mhm.
he interacted quite a bit. And granted, his business is bigger than what it was. So
Mhm.
a lot of that is a lot more difficult. But it's hard for me to vote for Chris because, yes, very important part. One of the reasons why I started watching like videos on YouTube initially was I stumbled across him.
Yep.
Well deserving, but like mad props to Dave for including him. Me also voting for him is not going to help him. Like
No.
he is a lost art form for whatever reason, and it's not right. But that's why I brought up the Veterans Committee before because there are so many deserving older channels that are not active that are just as deserving as those individuals that are current
Mhm.
for a multitude of reasons. For a multitude of reasons. And I appreciate Jake's thought process of if we continue to do 10, we would run out of channels. I disagree with that philosophy because when you look at the number of votes, video ballots that were submitted this year, those are just ones that know about it. Okay. There are others that are out there that know nothing about it.
Mhm.
So even if you look at the number of ballots cast and the number of channels that got just a single vote, both records, mind you, it would take over 10 years for every channel to get into the Hall of Fame. 10 years. So when you cut that in half, is Jake planning on doing this for 20 years? Just throwing it out there.
More than likely, I'm going to say no.
And I am not lobbying to get into the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame. That's not where I'm going with this.
You sure about that? You sure? You
I
sure
am
about that? You
I
sure?
am 100% positive.
It would give the IRP some credentials.
True. But on the flip side, our IRP creds got us into the Eagles nest. We didn't need no damn patch for that.
I really was hoping there'd be others there. Mike, obviously, was a great time and some history was there. That, but I mean, it that would have been something to have a lot of the other folks that stayed there also in the building at the same time, or also in the room, I should say, at the same time.
Well, and unfortunately, like one of them had already left,
Yep.
so that kind of didn't help. Like on their way back home, but more. That's one way of putting it, Carlos. Hashtag facts. I do find it interesting that BBC uses that terminology when he always gives you his vote. Because when I think of storied history, I don't think of you and him. just throwing that out there. I know of the storied history, but you're not the first person that comes to mind when that term is used. When he brought it up again this for voting for this year, I'm like, oh my God, is he gonna vote for Dave? And I'm like, oh yeah. Should have known.
Yeah, come
Wishful
on now.
thinking, I guess. Wishful thinking. That should give you his vote just because of even more of the storied history. And the fact that he continues to get crap from Card Cutter and Canadian Cards about it too. So that in itself
I was
should
just say
garner the vote.
that for me is enough to satisfy my delights. Because that,
on
yeah,
on a positive note, no, in all seriousness, congrats to the class of 2024. It's, to be honest, I almost don't know if I'd want to be voted in because I'd have a hard time making an acceptance speech. I'd have to get some. I'd like have to get really creative. Yeah, my creative juices don't work so well these days. Jake would never ask me for a multitude of reasons. One, what is one of my most famous sayings? Just the Bears uses it quite frequently in his voting videos.
it's one of those. It's one of those.
No, I ain't got time for that shit. Like the amount of time and effort that he puts in is staggering, especially if it continues to increase like it does. Now, with the requirement of putting stuff in the description, I'm sure he watches still quite a few of them. I don't foresee him not watching some of them. But when you put the stuff in the description, it makes things 10 times faster.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Garrett putting that out there. And it's a glorified shout out video. And it's, like I said, it serves its purpose. I found channels. I found some more football channels, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
I would like more.
Yep.
Or I would ask for other people who collect football and vintage baseball to share some more football. I'm going to do my best to try and make more videos, card related videos.
I am not.
Even though Orlando, thank me for sharing my cards again. I do it every year. After every Christmas episode, I share the highlights. It's just what I do because it's historical. So I do it for reasons. But got to work myself back onto Brad's video. Maybe, just maybe, if I get that vote for Brad, I'll just get over the hump. Probably not. We all know Vinny wants to get into the Hall of Fame. He talks about it all the time. That's all the freaking text messages that we get in our IRP text chat. That's all Vinny talks about is why the fuck, man.
His face on not the IRP, the YouTube patch, like Mark did. Yeah, it's again goals.
Is he going to speak? I'm glad I'm sitting down.
Sorry, I'm late. I left the credentials in the soapbox to get in.
Well, don't do that next time.
Well, it's hard for me to keep track of all my credentials. Only the essential ones are kept on me.
As they should be.
Maybe you need to rethink your setup.
Let me extend the soapbox to Steve's comment. No, I don't care about a Hall of Fame. I'm the last person that gives two rats' asses about it. No offense to anybody that's in, who's going to get in. I don't do it for that. I don't care about that. A lot of Hall of Famer guys, Bob, that guy deserves to be in right there. Canadian cards. Mr. Carlos should be in there. No, I don't make videos enough. Maybe one day. Sometime over the rainbow. I will, but nope. Not worried about it.
Don't lie. God, man, you were the worst liar ever.
Okay.
Don't make me start reading the text messages here, man. Come on, dude. Really? We want to do this?
Sure. Start reading them.
All right.
Here, I'll find them for you. Not.
Oh, they're there.
Not in.
Oh, see,
No,
no, see,
nothing.
you delete them. That's why.
Is that what I did?
Yeah, that's why you don't.
Uh-huh.
Much love, man. Much love.
Mm-hmm.
Don't me.
Oh, I got to open a package in a better half because she said to do it on camera.
Oh, make them big. Make them big.
I don't know what this is. All I know is she got a package from eBay for once. So.
I think I know what. Well, if it is what I think it is,
I'm fairly certain.
Ooh,
it should be.
What I think this is.
I don't know. Is it?
We got to look at the back of it, and well, they taped it quite well.
Hey, can you chill out on it a little?
I'm good.
Gabagool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put Gabagool on
There's your
top of his
Gabagool.
head.
Oh, that stinks bad. Ooh.
Wow, is that shit? I've never seen one in person. So out of 96, 97 Pinnacle Mint. So the card just has that blank circle in there. This is the gold plated one from 96, 97. And I mean that the front's not that shiny. Well, it is shiny when you get it close. There's some Nate Shine for you. Tops 85 401 right there. And then it's so thank you, Jeff Morris, for your gift to us of Pinnacle Hockey. Thank you, Better Half. That's pretty freaking nice.
Okay, well, Valentine's Day is in a couple weeks, just an FYI.
Oh, I don't get paid to the following week, so it's on the delay. But that's freaking cool.
So I win again.
For this time round. I like what kind of top holder is that? There's like nothing distinguished on there. It's semi-rigid, but there's no name or anything.
Enjoy.
Thank you. It actually does kind of look like him too. A chubbier version, but nonetheless, 96, 97. Pretty cool. You don't see these. You just boxes are about 130, 140 bucks. 97, 98's even more. Yeah. Pinnacle Mint, it's something. All those cards came empty. And then you put the brass and the silver, gold plated, 24 karat gold. I don't know if I'll ever see that. Because that's one, every 4 cases?
Oh. Yeah, if that, because even then, I mean,
It's brass, nickel, silver, gold plated, 24 karat. I think it is. If Joe's in here, please confirm. One ping only, Paul. If Paul's in here.
knowing how much of that stuff too still like the collector's choice or stuff like that is still sitting in cases just because it was a niche product.
Yeah. And back to Jeff Morris's comment, some of those boxes were not shelf friendly.
No.
So if you're not on the shelf and you got to ask for it, hey, what do you got in the back? Or in Gone in 60 Seconds, Tyler Sports Car Guy. What else do you have in the warehouse? No, he likes National Treasures. That's it.
It's like that right there. That comment refers to this as well. From way back. Out of sight, out of mind. Again, this was from some of the old channels not making content, videos, being active. So, but it also, when you're not on a shelf and shelf friendly in these configurations, it's like, what else was there? The Dare to Tear type stuff, the Zenith, because I mean, again, the studio, you're in a 8x10 type envelope.
Well, that's like that I told you the other day, the 1011 Zenith that Panini put out. There's the Dare to Tear Lemieux that you can rip open the back. And then there's an actual box topper version, which I was not aware of. So I thought I got another Dare to Tear for $10, and I was all psyched, and I get it in the mail, and it's the box topper. Well, I was excited after the fact that it wasn't said Dare to Tear because I didn't have the box topper and didn't know it existed either. So you learn something every day.
So before I answered that, I posed the question to like anything specific. Because for us, the majority in our early prime was all football.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't want to. There were a few baseball guys. Like, 64 2024 is the first person I'm going to state because he did baseball and football. He was a Lions guy, but he was also a Red Sox guy, mostly Pedroia.
Yep.
So, like, and Chris got a ton of care packages, a ton. that's just the type of guy Chris was, and he never understood it. Like, talk about somebody who was very humbled and would always say, like, I don't understand why.
Yeah, always that sort of side looking, like I don't deserve this. Sort of like almost like a bashful.
Ricky Russo was another one. He did a lot of breaks, but most of his stuff was basketball. But his was breaks. Not that there was anything wrong with that, but like when he did giveaways or mystery packs and stuff like that, he used some of the built-in like uh, shit on his webcam or whatever.
Mhm. Yeah, the dog or
Or
'cause there'd be
the
times
genie guy or whatever.
he'd have like
His voice. But I'm trying to get more specifics from Rick, and with Orlando Mike going, great question. I Before we give suggestions, want to kind of make sure kind of what your expectations are. Because like between Dave and I, in case in point, like my first ballot video that I didn't post that was like 22 minutes long, I started going and rattling off a bunch of inactive channels that are still subscribed to my Bronco 79 channel that are no longer active.
what episode did we do where we literally took the whole show and just fucking rattled off.
Oh, yeah. You think I'm going to remember what show that was?
I'm just saying that would be if you really want to get into the nuts and bolts to the gears. That would be the one to go back and just start listening. And again, if you have any questions, Rick, you can about like spelling, because there's like a lot of spelling. It won't be obviously like spelled out how you're thinking.
If you want to see some sick ass basketball shit, Tyson NZ.
And this is hoping these people still have videos up, because I have not checked.
Tyson does. Tyson
Okay.
does, because I have some videos that are favorited of Tyson's. That's why I know his are still up. But he was collecting Jordan back in our prime of YouTube.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just Jordan. Like he did 90s insert stuff. I remember when he started getting into it. And like he had a lot of the big boy cards.
Mhm.
the big time multiple comma cards back in those times. But he was a Redskins guy, so Mike, I know you'll enjoy that. He loved Clinton Portis.
Oh, I wish Elon still had his stuff up too. That's another one.
Yeah, he had some sick ass Redskins shit though too. But like Tyson collected everything. So if you kind of filter through like the Bubba packs and the mystery packs and the break type videos that he posted, holy shit. Like Kobe autos, Jordan autos, fucking you name it. He had it at some point in his hands. And that's not an exaggeration. And he was profanity laced like Dave. But
Dominus Infinitus Ryan. Now he goes by what, Sasquatch something
Collectors
Emporium or something.
Sasquatch Collectors Emporium. Originally Indie Noodle.
Yes.
Yeah.
So again, he gets votes every year, but I don't think the thoroughness of his like I know it's not like pinpoint, but what he collects, it's stuff that there's a reason behind going after the stuff. Is I always will say, Michael, this film not yet rated, because he's just not like going to a card show and he sees like a Favre auto or a Rogers. He's not just buying it because there's a Rogers auto there. He is insanely specific in what he's looking for.
Yep.
And he had a lot of old. Again, Clay Matthews obviously was the main focal point of his PC for many years. Still is carries a heavy stone for him. But like a lot of that, the immaculate or the what the hell's it called? I can see it.
Impeccable.
Yes, impeccable. Like that type of stuff. The old the card Joey found at Nate Burns' National and 4 of 10 or whatever it was. I'm like, that card is fucking ridiculous to find here. That you say something about like a superfractor, some who fucking cares? That thing right there to 10 to find a jersey number and to have him dick down or like dicking down with the whatever price going from 200 to like it was like 170 or 175. And again, I know Michael wouldn't truly care if we're talking about that because again, that card, I'm like, that what? Something that's basically 20 years old.
Oh, and he was jealous that the two of us got to see it in person.
Yep.
I was like, but we're here.
Yeah. You had the opportunity, but your friend decided to switch the weekend that he got married. So, unfortunately for you, before going over to Japan, and it's like,
But see, and that's the thing. It's like I know Dave and I threw out some honorable mentions in our ballots. I didn't tag any of mine. I think I listed mine, but I didn't tag them. Everything that was listed, you could literally go copy and paste into YouTube and you'd find their channel. And yes, a lot of those were people I consider friends. But there were multiple good channels. Multiple. Mm-hmm. But like I said, in our prime, most of it was football. Which is odd to me that it went from the bulk of football to a baseball and very little football. I mean, I get it, baseball, national pastime, like I get it. But it's just interesting to me that it went from 85% football to basically almost like maybe 10%, all things considered. But that also means that like Dave and I haven't found them if there's more also. Mm-hmm. So
it basically, Rick, was you sit down, you pointed the camera, you turned it on, either front facing or rear facing or whatever, depending on what you're using, or a webcam on a laptop or on at your PC.
Or digital camera, where you physically had to plug up your digital camera and upload it that way.
That's what I did with a ton of my video. I don't even know when I stopped, but I mean, that's probably the first 5, 6 years. I think we're pretty much digital camera, maybe less, but I mean, that first 3, 4 was all before like a YouTube app came along where you could just sit there, record, go to the app, boom, boom, and you're done.
Well, you could tell when I went from digital camera to a webcam in my videos. Like you see it.
Oh yeah.
Because before it was staring at a computer monitor of my desk.
Yep.
And then, of course, when I got the webcam, which allowed me to go live on Blog TV, is when you saw the change.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, John. So that's when it was rudimentary, it was painful. We were all capped at like 10 minutes. We couldn't go above 10 minutes. That was the upload limit was 10 minutes.
Which,
And then I know they changed it to once you hit like 1,000 subscribers, your 10-minute like went away. But then they upped it to 15 minutes, I think.
and
And
that's
then, of
for,
course, they completely removed the time limit.
except for Alan, goes to Zepho, who always seems to be at a 15-minute.
Yes.
It just doesn't change.
Mike, that would be a good question. Like, I know Dave brought up Thundering 24 being one of kind of like the originators. And it's not saying that he is the originator, but he was definitely one of the earliest ones, hands
Mhm.
down.
And
Hands
this
down.
was the 10 minutes. You know what we did back then? When we got a mail day, that day we recorded the video. 1 package, 2 packages,
Yeah, we did
10
it right then.
packages. Sometimes we had to do, it's like, okay, I know I'm going to get a bunch on a Monday. I know a bunch of other people are going to get it on a Monday. Because again, the weekend, whatnot. You sort of had to, if you knew, okay, I blew my card load for a little bit. I'm going to get 6 packages on Monday. I'm going to split them up. Maybe I'll do 3 Monday. Maybe I'll do 3 Wednesday. Just because, again, because some of the stuff you didn't want to have. Again, not like 10 minutes is going to bore everybody like a 40-minute video or an hour and a half or whatever I'd put out. But if you put 3 nice cards and you put 3 nice cards in 2 videos that were like 8.5 to 9 minutes long, you could still get the gist of the card. You weren't sitting there and I got 6 packages, and then you'd open them on camera too. Just to, again, if you got 3 packages, okay, I'm going to draw the time out a little. I don't want to sit there and be on there for 10 minutes trying to fuck around with some special tape that you can't get through unless you got a box cutter. But you did that. You tried to break it up because you knew on a Monday, 3:00, you'd start seeing like the videos starting to get uploaded. Manny would put his stuff on. Adam ILO, Dazzler, Tyson, Nick, Denny, Starvin Marvin. I'm trying to think. Ed Warha, was he out that way? Or he was on California?
No, he was Reno. See, it's amazing that I can remember that because I was trying to think of other East Coast people. Puff Bear, because of being in Connecticut. Bobby.
Yep. Bobby in Florida, AF Cop.
Yeah, but at the time he was still in Germany.
Yeah. Yeah, he might have been.
It's possible, Benny.
I know. I think he was on before one of the nationals.
I know we talked old school, new school with. Well, we also talked about it with P-Daz though too.
That would have been about a year ago, right? Like last January when we had that. I think that episode. But yeah, you'd start seeing just all these videos pop, and
you very rarely saw anything post on Sunday because Sundays Sundays were the worst.
Yep.
But yet I still upload videos on Sunday because, like I said, I'm not trying to maximize views. Care packages you tried to lump into their own video.
Yep.
If you got 2 on one day, you would usually do both of them in one day.
Yep.
But if you got a bunch of eBay stuff in one care package, you wouldn't like include a lot of your mail day stuff in with the care package from somebody. You
Yep,
wanted
it
that
had
to be
to.
its own individual video. I was trying to think I was sitting there trying to think because even when early on for me, I opened my shit live. So you knew what was eBay, you knew what was just because you knew. But you would open it like at the time you would first see it when you opened it. So you may know you've got like 10 cards coming, but you don't know what's in said packages. So it was almost kind of like a surprise of Christmas in June, for instance, because you didn't know exactly what it was. So it was a surprise of, oh yeah, I remember this. But most people uploaded in their evening time, in their corresponding time zone. And Saturday, if anybody uploaded stuff on Saturday, it was usually earlier because like Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights were like breaking nights.
Yep.
And or blog hangouts, depending on what you did during those times. So you wanted to try and get it uploaded earlier so you could quote unquote maximize your views. Not that you were trying to monetize or anything. That's not what
You wanted
you wanted more people to be able to see it.
Drum up the interest early on. So if people wanted to be part of something like that, if they wanted to join the breaks, if they wanted to go to your blog room and just chill out, hang out, whatever, just enjoy the ambiance of breaking and the BS, get it up by like 10 o'clock in the morning, whatever your time is, to make sure, like, hey, I see GSN, he's got a break that didn't fill last night, which I guess never happened, but theoretically, like, okay, he's got a break going Saturday. It's like a 2-minute, 3-minute video. Usually a lot of rambling by him at the end. All he had to do was show the boxes and list the price, and he just kept on going on.
Yeah, but, and if you want to be flabbergasted, go watch some of the older breakers and look at the freaking random team costs.
Yep.
And we're talking exquisite. We're talking premier. Immaculate, flawless, that shit wasn't around. But go look at the price points. And it was all random teams.
Yeah, it was.
Some of the mixers, like the ones that GSN, Nick did, Try 5 Ty Durden 555, Denny and Susie, they were like usually between like $23 and $27 a break. And there was like 6 to 8 boxes.
Yeah.
Mixed product for a specific sport. Like Nick always did one baseball, one football. Denny and Susie usually always did football breaks. Usually.
Once in a while, get some hockey in there because they're huge hockey fans, big Islanders fans, and she's Bruins. So
and then like Ty Durden was usually always football breaks. But it's like you could buy into a break for $25, $26. Get a random team. You could do all right at a $25 or $26 price point. The only difference is back when those breaks were happening, there weren't a shit ton of hundreds of dollar or $100 cards. Either.
No. Gabagool.
So, from that perspective,
Ooh,
your luck was not with you a lot
No.
of the times.
no.
But, did the breakers make a little bit of money? Yes. They had to cover shipping because whatever the price was, it included shipping. So, they had to make a little bit. Most of them also got a spot in their own break, which was acceptable at that time. Oh my God, I'm glad I'm sitting down.
Except Nick. When he got the Falcons, I think 4 times in a row in the 08 product. So again, that was when Ryan was
Hold on. I'm glad I'm sitting down. A random guest appears.
random, eh?
Obviously, this is your doing, but a random guest appears.
Not me.
Can I get a thumbs up? You good to go? You ready? Oh, we get the 2 thumbs up. Making another appearance on the IRP, our good friend, Andy.
What's up, boys?
What's going on, man?
Not much. Just been watching some high school basketball. I've probably in the last hour, I've probably dropped more F-bombs than Dave Archer.
That's not possible.
It's possible.
No, it's not.
Trust me, it's possible. I didn't think it was possible, but I did it.
Watch
But
the game I put up last night against Mountain Iron, and then see how many times you say "fuck" during that, because it is so incredibly hard to videotape and not just be George Carlin from the '70s and every word you can't say on television. It's it would be a string.
It was
3
rough.
times across the country.
It was rough. So my nephew, he's a junior, plays high school basketball, small school high school basketball. The final score of this game, we lost 38-37. This is high school basketball, not grade school. This is high school.
They play with a peach basket or what? Have to go. The time just went away after every time you got to go.
It was a rough watch. Yeah, I like to see a little more scoring than that.
Yeah, well, I think everyone does. I mean, this isn't football where it's hey, I don't mind a defensive battle, 14-10, 17-10 game. This is, you don't want to see stall ball and.
Yeah, it wasn't so much a defensive battle as it was just there just wasn't enough shots taken.
Offensive struggle. Nobody won that.
Offensive struggle. He played well, but yeah, just
because you at one point, again, memory somewhat intact, have a video highlight package of him.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say it. I'm fairly confident that I remember that, but
so they had 37 points tonight. He had 26. You're muted, Steve.
You read my lips. All I said was "damn."
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough to watch. So what have you guys been up to? What have you been talking about tonight?
a lot of the community just to, again, sort of going over the Hall of Fame stuff and just really hoping if it comes to fruition where Jake sort of goes back or listens a little bit to the community here with the veteran stuff. Again, where you sort of you again, yeah, you can make that hard push 3 years. I mean, you can be okay, first year, see where the footing is, and then after that, if you're okay, this is working for me, and whatever you're looking for it to work for you, whatever you want it to become, if you make that hard push that next 2 years, it basically you can I'm not saying buy your way in because it's not, but you're just talked about because that's all you see. It's like even if it's not one of the big channels,
Yeah.
it's like you see the constant videos out, and you're like, Jesus Christ, what do people have time to do? I mean, I don't even want to make a video where I show stuff off that I like, let alone like speculation and like top 10 cards. The first quarter of 1974. It's like I don't what, huh?
Yeah.
So
I only had one channel that I had on my ballot that actually got in. So I'm with you as far as like there's my boy Mike, Canadian Cards. Like I voted for him.
So did I. So did I.
Yeah. And I mean, like I'm like you guys, like I like the channels where they show cards, talk about cards. Like, I mean, there's so many of them now. They're basically just talking about other people's cards, other people's videos. You know, this guy did this, or Fanatics did this. It's like I don't really care about that stuff.
Well,
yeah,
and that's what's interesting though, and this is what I touched on earlier too, Andy, is the big fiasco with Sports Card Dad, in
Yeah.
his big quote unquote push to try and get in. It is collector centric. There's only there's technically 2 breakers on there. Ricky Russo being one of them. He broke a lot of stuff. He was also a dealer. But Up North Collectors.
Yeah.
Everybody else is a collector.
Yeah.
So it's like we always talk about and touch on, the investors, the flippers, the influencers. Everybody has a purpose in the community. We're not saying that there's not good in some of those, but the people that bitch most about it don't realize that it's collector centric. It is collector centric.
Yeah.
And if your channel is not focusing on the collecting aspect and showing cards that you're adding to your collection, the chances of you getting in are slim to none.
Yeah.
It's like people need to understand and realize that that's the reason why those channels don't get voted in.
Yeah, and like it's you guys know this as well as I do. Like there's lots of different communities in YouTube sports card world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what hurts a guy like Dustin is, I mean, to be quite honest, like he hasn't really been a part of like this community that has this sports card Hall of Fame. Like he only wants to like pop in like during that time of the year, make his presence known. But I mean, like, does he really interact with like any of the people in this community throughout the year? Probably not. Like, I mean, and I mean that's fine, but I mean that's why he did not have any traction.
Yeah.
Well, and like baseball card collector investor dealer got a ton of votes.
Yeah.
Got a ton of votes this year. But he also interacts with people. He talks about the collecting aspect.
Yeah.
Like I have nothing against that guy. None at all. He seems like a freaking just chill dude. And obviously a lot of people felt that he was deserving because look at the number of votes that he got. But it's still, like I said, it's collector centric. Does he talk about some of the bigger card sales, the high rollers, the low rollers, stuff like that? Absolutely. But he does talk a lot about from the collecting aspect, which makes sense as to why he would garner votes.
Yeah. I mean, I can't really speak much on his channel. I don't think I've ever watched an episode. I just tend to watch the channels of people I know and people I like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't like venture, like there's so many new channels over the last 3 or 4 years, and I don't know hardly any of them. After a while, I think, you subscribe to so many channels, and then when the channels you are subscribed to, a lot of them start putting out more and more videos you have no chance of watching 10% of the stuff that just from the people you already subscribe to. So there's probably a lot of good newer channels out there. I just don't really have the time and energy to like track them down. And, there's just not enough time in the day for because, people that used to put out 1 or 2 videos a week are now doing like 5 or 6. And it's just too much. Like there's so many things that are talked about that really don't need to be, in my opinion. I guess there's a lot of people that watch that stuff. So I guess, somebody's watching it, but it's not me.
It all boils down to what somebody's interests are.
Yeah.
And, I've said it multiple times, and this is not a dig for the bulk majority of the vintage baseball guys. I have nothing wrong with it. But there is only so much that I'm willing to consume because I don't have the interest in it.
Sure.
So will I watch some of it? Yes, because I want to support people that I've come in contact with or met or interacted with, because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to support people in the community. That's what a community does, right? Trying to support people. The problem is, like you said, it's too hard to watch freaking everything.
Yeah.
I do what I can. I watch what I can. I interact when I can. But I'm more apt to spend more time watching football-related videos than I am vintage baseball.
Yeah. And I think I'm pretty similar to you guys as far as I feel like there's also like a loyalty factor. Like you guys are very loyal to like the channels that came in around the same time that you guys did, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I find myself kind of the same way. Like those channels that came in, 2017, 2018, like that's most of the stuff that I watch because, we kind of came in together and all that stuff. And it's the same with the newer people. They kind of watch the newer channels that they came in with, and there's just more of them.
Yep. And we're going to continue to see more. We're going to see more come in. We're going to see more go out. It's the evolution, because I'm speaking for myself. I did it because I found some enjoyment in it. Because, like I said, back in our time, you had direct messenger in YouTube. So you didn't have to leave a comment to start interacting and engaging with somebody. You could sit there and you could make a comment, that type of stuff. Yeah, but you could also send a message to that person and engage in conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, see, Rick, I'm trying to make it easy on you, man. I'm making it easier on everybody.
Yeah, but see, you follow the bill. You're already in the Hall of Fame. You don't have to make videos anymore. You're good.
That's true. Like, and a lot of people, they talk about like, how such and such wants to get in because they want these patches. Like, now I don't know if you guys realize it, but these patches, these are 3-color patches. Like, this is not just like this is not like a basic napkin patch. These are 3-color. These are pretty desirable. Like, can you imagine this thing on a card?
Absolutely.
Nobody's going to be patch swapping this baby.
And by the way, I want to take you up on your offer. I want your patch, Andy. Ship it to me.
I'll bring it to you at the National.
It has to be 25 because I'm not going to be there this year.
I'll be there.
I'm joking, of course. I just thought it was funny because you brought it up. If anybody wants this thing bad enough, just tell me and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, because it is. I think, like, obviously, I think it's cool to be voted in by your peers, but it's just gotten way too serious. And
but that's the thing, Andy. For some people, that's the freaking hypocrisy of it all, is that so many people get butthurt
Yeah.
over it. And it's like, okay, just maybe. I can't believe I'm going to say this. Just maybe. Maybe you should take a step back, take a feelings inventory. We're going to have a rehash from past episode and realize that maybe the reason you didn't, because you suck. Okay, maybe that's not entirely true, but you get my point. Like,
Yeah.
nobody should get pissed off, upset, hurt. If that is your life's mission, to make the YouTube Sports Herd Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and I think
before you jump in that, use the community and ask, what am I doing wrong? What should I do different? What is going to make you vote? Like, if you really care that much,
yeah,
ask for feedback.
I think like me and Ed are pretty much on the same page. We're kind of aligned in our thinking about it a lot. And I think he and I were talking about it. Maybe it was on Carlos's channel, but I think somebody, because you hear people say, such and such, they deserve to be in, right? I'm like, nobody deserves to be in. It's not a real thing. Nobody deserves to be in. None of us that are in deserve it. It's like,
Yeah, but see, on the flip side to that, I can argue against that, because I think there are people out there that put in the effort,
yeah,
not just from a making videos perspective, but to actually like engage with people, get to know them, interact with them, look out for them at card show. Like, from that perspective, I think there are people that are deserving.
I
That
mean,
may not be the right word.
yeah, I get what you're saying.
But that's the word that comes to mind when I think of certain individuals that maybe don't get the nod as they should.
Yeah. I'll just use myself as an example of someone that doesn't deserve to be in. Like, let's go down the list. Effort, no. What else? I mean, it was, to be quite frank, I think it was way too easy to get in the past format, where you only had to do like a year's worth of videos. I mean, it's hard to stay around for a long time and do videos.
You're a good dude, though, Andy. So
but a year is not very long to do it. So it was, and then there were 10 people getting in. It was a lot easier back then. Like, I would never get in under today's formula. There's no way.
I bet you would.
No, you have to put out more than like 3 or 4 videos a year, and one of them can't be your nomination video.
It's because, well, and we've said this, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah, I mean,
and I'm not using that terminology or that phrasing as a negative. I'm not. But at the same time, like, in all honesty, there's a lot of people that have a tendency to vote for the same channels.
yeah.
And I don't understand why. Is it like, I need to get my video out sooner so I'm not swayed to vote. What? How can you be swayed by somebody else's video to change your ballot? Your ballot is your ballot for your reasons, not because somebody else freaking put something out. Oh, well, I didn't think about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to take off this person and add this person because so-and-so made some valid. No bullshit. This isn't political. Most people don't campaign. So
Right.
your ballot is your ballot.
Yeah. And my criteria has evolved over the past few years. Like, I used to try to think about channels that I, kind of to your point earlier, that I thought deserved it based on like their total body of work. But now it's pretty simple criteria for me. It's A, do I watch your channel? And then B, do I like it? If the answer is yes to both of those, then you've got a shot of being on my ballot. But if I don't watch you, I'm not voting for you. I mean, that's just, I don't know.
Yeah, but that could be taken in a negative context. And that's which, like, I understand why you say that. I get why you say that. Because you don't watch something doesn't mean that you don't like somebody, but that's the issue with a lot of this. So much shit can be taken out of context that it almost defeats the purpose of what it was founded upon anyways. And that's introducing other people to other channels.
Well, and that's another part of it too, is like, I think out of all the channels I voted for, there was probably only maybe like 2 of them that even had like over 1,000 subscribers. I think Carlos had the most, and then Ben, Dead Guy Cardboard, probably had the second most, and he's been doing videos forever. So I tend to like the smaller channels, honestly, I guess, because that's the ones that I watch the most. And so, I mean, I think that is kind of, in a way, I am spotlighting those channels, but I'm doing it for my own selfish reasons because I like them.
Well, and that's fair. And that's the thing. It's your ballot. You don't owe justification to fucking anybody.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like anybody should ever have to justify why they vote the way that they do.
Yeah.
Like, it's your ballot. It's your choices. It's the people that you feel you want to nominate and should be in the Hall of Fame for whatever criteria and whatever reasons. But in all fairness, and a part of me really wishes I would have uploaded my original video because I had so many good points that I didn't put in my second. But I realized I mentioned 2 people from like the old school days that were subscribed to my channel that I think were no longer married. And I thought it was odd to actually put them both in a video and be like, maybe that's not a wise decision.
Too soon.
But I brought up the fact that, not saying that anybody has done this. Please mark my words. I am not accusing anybody of anything. But for those people with thousands of subscribers, you can buy them in blocks.
Yeah.
You can go to a website and buy subscribers. Doesn't mean you get the views, but you can buy the subscribers. So for those people who throw out the fact of number of subscribers, blah, 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 it is a moot point because I could go out right now and get the IRP up to 1,000 subscribers with a few $100s.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at some of these channels too, to your point, like some of these channels that have 20,000 subscribers, if they're only getting 1,000 views like on their videos and very few comments, I mean, that's what roughly, like, that means like 5% of the people that are subscribed to them are watching. And I mean, and that's not even true because a lot of people that aren't subscribed to them are watching. So that's I've always found that to be quite odd that you would have that few of your actual subscribers watching. Like, why are you subscribed if you never watch?
Well, but see, and here's the funny thing though, too, and in all seriousness, and I'm going to focus on like Dave and I, for instance. Dave and I have roughly 800 subscribers, give or take 10 or 15, 20, whatever. Most of those are from our prime days, but subscribers don't mean shit because views is what matters. Views is what get people paid in the YouTube world. That and ad revenue in the event that, that happens. But like, even for me, I was well known back in those days. Even at 700 and something subscribers, most of my videos would average 80, 90 views in my prime.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to convey subscribers to views though too, because in essence, like, and I'm speaking to me personally, like if I'm going to subscribe to a channel, there's a reason I subscribe to the channel. It's not the whole sub for sub shit that happened back in our day. A lot of the times, hey, I'll subscribe to your channel if you subscribe to mine.
Is that the way it was back then?
Oh, there was a lot of that. There was a lot of that. And most of those messages, they weren't on comments. They came in via direct message.
That's funny because
Hey,
I get a lot of that stuff on Instagram now. Like where somebody will like start following you and they'll send you a message like, hey, you know, check me out. And then if you don't follow them, they'll just unfollow you after a couple of days.
okay, good for them. Like,
pretty
I don't care.
Yeah.
But it was the same thing then. And that's views and subscribers are so hard to put some sort of understanding behind it. Because, like I said, during our prime, we knew almost everybody. Almost everybody.
Yeah.
Because we interacted them in some shape, form, or fashion. Whether it be in True 17's break, big breaks that he would hold. And, you know, sometimes we were sitting in the waiting room with like 20 people because Blog TV only held 100 people at a time. And so that tells you how small the community was. It was a lot smaller, but at the same time, during those times, to hit 1,000 subscribers was fucking huge.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
Huge. There wasn't buying subscribers back in those days. At least not that I'm aware of. But even then, those who had 1,000, 1,100, 1,200 subscribers still getting, 200 views, 250 views on a video.
Yeah.
It made no sense. If I subscribe to a channel, it's because I've watched something or I intend to watch or I'm waiting for them to post something that I want to watch, not just to do it because I want to do it. I don't get it. It's a
Vinny
weird
looks
fucking
like he's
thing.
really concentrating over there. You look like you're doing an equation, Vinny.
He probably is.
Looking at something from work.
Oh, okay. So you are working. So I was right. You are
It's
working.
it's after hours. What are
He's
you
locked
doing?
in.
Never after. There is no after hours.
Yes,
Well,
there is. You've told me 8 hours a day.
Oh.
What are you doing?
Sometimes that doesn't compute. So I got to figure this out. I got to turn the old thing on and fix this, which I should be done in a moment.
There's always Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. your time to.
Yeah, there is.
So what about
Just-
pickups? Like, what have you guys been picking up? Anything cool lately?
Absolutely fucking nothing.
Nice. Dave?
A lot of stuff for like the Christmas episode.
Okay.
I mean, I've said I've had a lot of fun doing that. I got skunked on a Josh Johnson 101 this past week or 2 weeks ago or whatever it was. I was fucking insanely pissed.
Speaking of which, what came out of that since the person messaged you on Instagram?
That guy's like another guy that he enjoyed watching him, so that's been the only thing that he said. And it's something
So no possibility of saying, "Hey, I'll double what you paid because I really want this card."
Well, again, at some point I will, but I need to get my fumes like cleared out of the air because I'm just like, it was an exquisite 06 dual auto with Ale Solar, a guy from Cuba that the Mets had signed, 101 dual auto, and I'd offered because I'd bought the Mario Petit one after I think I sold stuff to Ryan and Neil, RBI Crew 7. And I was able to get that one for like 120, 130, which I thought was, again, high. But I'm like, that's what I need to do. If there's a Josh Johnson 101, I've got to try to
Yeah.
go hard after it, but not stupid like the Superfractor that Michael was going to go after too, where it went for like 225 or 230, and I'm like, that's fucking stupid. That, that's beyond my stupidity. I mean, that takes some doing. So
Super
this
fractors,
thing,
man, people love them.
well, I know that, but I've got I don't know how many, and none of them. The only thing that would cost that much would be the 06 Topps Chrome because it's autoed. But again, I've seen that the one time, and that came up I think in like 11 or 12, and that was like over 600 then, which was again a huge number for something then. That wasn't like Wilt Chamberlain auto or Bill Russell patch auto or something that would justify that price at the time. So this thing sold. I've had it on my watch list forever, and I've offered, I think, usually between 80 and 120 to 150. I think at one point of time, nothing. It just would expire out, and I'm like, okay, well, what? I even sent the message at one time, like, what are you looking to get? Because I mean, this isn't. Again, I think my eBay username's like Josh Johnson Superfan. So again, if you want to try to needle me for some more money, just let me know where you're at so I can figure it out. Nothing. So I saw like in the watch list and it said like ended, and I'm like, this has just been a reoccurring auction. I mean, it just it relists. So I'm like, did somebody buy this? $40. I'm like, you fucking have to be. And then the guy's like, was this yours? I'm like, why the fuck would I sell it?
Yeah.
I've sold one Josh Johnson, and I gave a copy away that I had multiples of that I bought back because the guy didn't go through with the set, or he broke up the set. So I knew who it was, and when I saw that, I'm like, oh, okay. Not like we talk or anything, but I was like, and you know I collect the guy. You could just send it back or say, hey, I broke up the set. First dibs on it. I got it back. That's all it counts. So yeah, to have that, and I'm like, so he messaged me, hey, was this yours? I got this Josh Johnson 101. I'm like, I said no. I've offered 80 to like 120 over numerous years, and nothing ever, and nothing. He just hearted that or something. No, it's not to fucking congratulate you, you cunt. That should be in my collection.
Yeah, thanks, but no thanks, prick.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stuff that I keep running into over the last year or so is like you'll go really hard after an auction, like you'll bid more than what you actually want to pay and still get blown away. And then you see it like relisted on eBay like in a week or so. Somebody will have it priced at like 3x what they bought it for in the auction.
Steve,
So
you
it's
don't
like-
know anything about that.
Oh, I know all about that one. Yeah, that one still pisses me off.
you've got a lot of people that are holding a lot of these cards that don't necessarily want them. They're just kind of holding them hostage. And
And that's how I feel about the 06 NT Shield Auto of Terrell Davis.
I'm just gonna wait them out.
Sold for I think what 12.27 or thereabouts. The guy posted it up on Instagram talking about how it was PC, and then not long after that, it's now posted back up on eBay for $3,200. Buy it now, best offer. It's like, you motherfucker.
Yeah. And then you have more and more people too. Like they'll list something at auction, but they'll have the opening price like, 1.5 times what it would sell for if they just listed it at 99 cents. That's the opening bid. I'm like, that's no different than a buy it now.
Yeah, but what's interesting is what that shit cost them as a seller. Like you got to look at the price point of what it's going to cost you to list something. You know what I mean? If you're willing to pay that every time you want to relist it, then whatever. But I don't know about you. My money tree's been dead for a lot of years. I'm going to be listing shit as cheap as what I can and hope I get what I want for it. And if I'm hell bent on getting something specific, put it up at a fixed price, buy it now best offer at a higher dollar value.
Mhm.
And that's when you pay your money.
Yeah. I mean, it's
So,
just,
you know,
it's frustrating, but I mean, what are you going to do? I mean,
so so in other words, what you're trying to tell us, Andy, is you haven't made any videos because you haven't been able to get anything.
I mean, no, that's not really true. I've bought stuff. I just, I'm just less interested in showing it. You know what I mean?
I could understand that though. Like
Here, I'll show you guys a couple of cards that I've got that I haven't shown on video. They're kind of, some of them probably surprise you a little bit. Like there's an Albert Bell grand finale.
That's nice.
This one I know Dave will like.
What was the grade on it? 8?
7.
Okay.
Dave will like this one.
Super or regular?
Just a regular rave.
Still though, those are
Beautiful.
And then, just some random vintage stuff too that I've bought, like Stan Musial here. This came off a box that a baseball glove came in. They sold baseball gloves, and this was like part of the box that they would cut off.
That's kind of cool though. That's different.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. And then Honest Abe.
Is that original? Is that like an original Ginter or something?
So this is like an 1890. They call these H600s. What they would do is like these are kind of like T206s because like companies would put like their different advertisements and stuff on them. So kind of neat. But yeah,
something different.
Yeah, I'm all over the place.
You pulling an Ed with the random like historical figures lately?
Well, I've been buying those for I don't know, a couple of years.
Have you?
Yeah, I've got several like Lincolns and Washingtons, Thomas Edison. I have an Edgar Allan Poe.
Quoth the Raven, nevermore.
Yeah.
One of my all-time favorite poems, man.
But yeah, like on the raves, Dave. So I got this bright idea one day to kind of like start the set, I guess.
yeah.
So I have like 30 so far, I think.
Have you lost your mind?
I think so, yeah.
That's a daunting task if I've ever heard of one.
Yeah, it's like 200 cards. But even like the Jordan and Kobe are not as expensive as a lot of their 90s parallels. It's like one of the cheaper parallels. Like you can get a Jordan in probably like, because I'll probably be looking for like a 6 or a 7. I think those are like less than, you can probably get one for maybe 1,500, I think.
Okay.
So that's like the most expensive card.
That's still stout.
Yeah, that's stout. That'll be like something maybe I look for at a national or something. But yeah, so I've just been buying like a lot of the cheaper guys right now.
Yeah, because so Dave, since I know you were focusing on Abdul Rahim for a while, I know you were starting to look at pack odds and that type of stuff. Do you remember what the raves? Was that a 1 a box?
I want to say it was, but I don't know if they had. I think that might have been just the randomly inserted in packs.
Yeah, so the raves, they're numbered to $3.99 each one. So they're not like stupid tough. It wouldn't surprise me if they were like maybe like 1 a box or something back then.
With that, $3.90. That almost seems like there could be 2 a box because like 90.
Maybe.
Because, and I'm speaking like 97 Skybox Impact.
Yeah.
The raves are numbered to 150, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken. And they were one a box.
Yeah, the footballs were, and I think baseball too might have been 150.
Now, Skybox Thunder is a whole different configuration. But like 97 Skybox Impact, I remember the Raves were one a box.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's interesting.
I
It's
only
interesting
opened two
back then,
boxes.
like how they had those in. It's almost like what they've done with like the downtowns and kabooms, like how they put them in different products now. Like the raves, like like those were in Skybox Z Force, but then you
Mhm.
had the baseball was like, what was it, like Circa Thunder
Yep.
originally, and then I think football was it the same way.
Skybox Thunder.
Yeah,
Yep.
so they were kind of in different products, and like the 90, so these were 97 98s, but the 98 baseball and football used this exact same design.
Yeah, it was pretty much copied across the board.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I didn't open any Skybox Thunder in '98. That's why I have nothing to compare it to. And I look back at '97 because I opened too much '97 product. I should have waited until '98, but go figure. I probably would be sitting on a gold mine.
a perfect example too of like how people are just so hypnotized by serial numbers is like, so the grand finales in baseball are not numbered, but the
Mhm.
print run is 50.
50
Yep.
stated print run.
So I
Same,
bought
same thing in football.
a
Yep.
raw Greg Maddux for like $200 and a Penny Hardaway from the basketball set. A PSA 7 sold for over 10,000. Just I guess
But
because they're serial numbered,
but put things into perspective though too. Like SPX 96 and 97 SPX was one card per pack.
Yeah.
24 packs per box. They were tough
Yeah.
to pull. And they were fairly expensive at the time too. For a one card per pack product, they weren't cheap.
Mhm.
Yeah. How much was
So-
a pack of those at retail?
Like $3 or $4, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, that's
But-
crazy for one card back then.
Yep. And it was a quote unquote a revolutionary idea and concept at the time. But the set was also like 50 cards. So the set was small,
Mhm.
but the inserts or the variation / parallels type stuff were tough as shit to pull. And stated print run on the grand finale, like it's across the board.
Yeah.
Because in football, they're stated print runs to 50.
Yeah. Yeah, and the
But-
football is similar to the baseball, as it's much cheaper than the basketball.
Mhm.
Well,
Like, I
almost
think if
everything is.
If these were serial numbered to 50 and the football were, I mean, I think they would be way higher.
Probably,
Yeah.
but that's the problem. People don't educate themselves, and just because it's not serial number doesn't mean it's not fucking rare.
No,
or
that's the thing
scarce.
though. That's where people like us, we have to take advantage because we know shit.
Exactly, 100%, 100%.
We've actually
Educated ourselves.
educated ourselves / lived through these products, when they came out and stuff too. So
Well,
yeah, those have always been tough. It's not like that's a new thing.
No.
And a lot of people have talked about Skybox Premium Rubies.
Yeah.
And I've talked about it multiple times. I don't think anybody comprehends how tough those are.
There's lots of fakes out there too.
Like, I'm thankful I have my Terrell. I bought it years ago, and I'm thankful that I did, because I would have a hard time paying $350 for one in today's market.
Mm-hmm.
But I loved Skybox Premium. I loved it.
The 97s are just awesome looking.
And I probably cracked almost a case,
Yeah.
not sealed. I mean, individual boxes. And I pulled one ruby, one.
Yeah.
So when you put that into context, were they won a case? I don't know. I didn't bother to go look at the almanac. I'm surprised Dave has never bothered to go look. I could
Do
probably pull it
the-
out and try and find it.
Do the football ones, are they faked as often as the basketball?
Not that I'm aware of, Andy. Not that I'm aware of.
Because the basketball ones, that's one of the sets that the counterfeiters really hit pretty hard. Was the rubies.
But of course the really interesting thing about 97 Skybox Premium is the Reebok cards that most people don't ever talk about. And it's funny that I bring that up because Dave and I were talking about it pre-show. But there's so many things out there across multiple sports that too many individuals hyper focus on certain things and don't realize there's so many other things that are just as pretty and as rare as the things that everybody focuses on, which is fine by me. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm not going to sit there and educate everybody.
Yeah.
What'd you find, Dave?
Rubies have nothing for like,
Pull ratio?
yeah, just it gives the multiplier and then the stated print run 50 serial numbered sets. And then for the, again, the Reebok, you got 5 tiers of it.
Emerald being the top. If I'm not mistaken, it was a 50 times multiplier at one point in time.
Still isn't, well, at least in this. Bronze, silver, gold, red, green are the 5 multipliers. So
How do you like that for memory? Still knowing 50 times.
It's not bad.
What's harder, Dave? The platinum medallion to 25 or the star rubies to 50?
platinum medallion out of
Showcase.
Ultra?
Showcase.
Showcase.
He's talking hockey.
I don't talk anything else.
Oh, yeah. I was like, I'm not familiar with that.
He's
Fleer
talking hockey.
Showcase.
I thought
Platinum
maybe we were
medallion.
talking about the legacies.
It's Fleer Ultra inside Fleer Showcase.
Ah.
Like the 989 or 13,
14.
I'd say probably and you're talking rubies again in that.
Same
Skybox
product.
Showcase. It's in Showcase, but it's Skybox in Showcase for rubies.
I'd probably go the Ultra, even again, yeah, it's to 25 compared to 50, but I think I've just seen only, and again, I don't look for every rookie or every player in that set. I think I've seen 2 Jonas Brodins. I've got 1.
Okay.
So I mean, I think that's one where people just don't care. Again, they're gorgeous cards, but it's just, you want the flash, you want the pop, the sizzle, and
Because I
to
have
some people, it doesn't do it.
I got the rubies in 21 and it's numbered to 50. Then I had the platinum medallion to 100 or to 25. And then a second one came up, buy it now or best offer from Burbank. So I made an offer and they took the offer. So I got 2 of them. And then I was after a third one so I could have more of the population count. But that went to Dr. Exclusive's brother, who in turn gave it to Joe for Christmas. So I'd rather lose out to him.
What do you think is the best looking parallel from the 90s? It's a tough one, huh?
Again, 97 Rubies is going to be up there.
Yeah.
I like the 98. There's a Keelan Clark, but it's so ungodly overpriced that like just because it's either 25 or 30. Because again, the rookies that year were a different numbering or quantity. The 97 score artist proofs are some of the most underrated because you look at the foil pattern and it's basically everything Panini's using today.
Yeah.
And I mean, I sent Abreu, and I'm like, I know I've got like 3 or 4 of them. Because again, and that the hockey ones are. Put that up again.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it just is insane. I mean, anytime I see him, I'm like, I don't need to see him because instantly I'll be
You want to
search-
buy it.
The 97, 98 artist proofs are probably
It's the one card I can buy like a Ray Ordonez of and be happy. It can be like a Mark Wohlers. I'm happy. It can be like a third line center. I'm happy. Just because they are insanely, they pop so much, and you don't need light. You don't need great light. It's just some of the nicest looking and cheapest cards. Again, when you sit there and look at like a 1 per box parallel, or 1 per a little over a box, I think we looked these up before. But I mean, it's something.
I thought it was like 1 in 24 or something.
something
is
close
like
to that.
One per box on
Right.
average.
Yeah,
97, 98 is the year Lemieux retired, so there's nothing, and there's some of the greatest parallels when you think about it. The certified mirror gold, the mirror gold platinums.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I've had this discussion 1,000 times with Dave. I don't know whether I'm happy, sad, disappointed. There's a plethora of emotions because, for one, I don't have to go after him. 2, I wish he had him. And I think that's why I went after 12, 13 so hard, Fleer Retro. So now all I'm missing is the essential credential to what, 3 or 6, Dave, it is, the now.
something
And
stupid low.
And then I need the red, green, and blue PMGs. I have the red and blue out of the other ones that I paid $45 for both of them. So it's
Yeah, two of the ones that come to my mind are the 98 Bowman's Best, the Atomic Refractors,
Mhm.
and then the Fleer Brilliance 24 karat golds. Those are awesome.
That's yeah.
I have a hard time narrowing it down because, like, he brought up the rubies, he brought up the artist proofs from 97. You bring up the atomic refractors from 98.
Yeah, those are awesome.
The 24 karat gold, like, and I find it interesting though that nobody brought up PMGs
whatever.
because, like, from my perspective, they're not the top of the food chain for me. They're not.
The so like the medal championship PMGs in basketball, and then I guess what would that be, the 98s in football that look just like that. Though to me those are like way better than the 97s.
There's nothing special about the aesthetics of 97.
No, not really.
There isn't. I also like the platinum medallions
Yeah.
from Fleer Ultra. especially 97.
Yeah, the 97s look really good.
Under Gary.
But like I said, there's so many in the 97, 98, 99, 2000 range that I feel are better than the rage of 97 PMGs. Like I don't get it.
I like the Skybox premium players. Those look really nice.
Platinum Portraits is another beautiful insert set.
Yeah, those are pretty sweet.
I just there's so many to choose from, and that's always the problem. You know, it just something that's very simple, but something about them. 97 playoff, is it playoff zone, playoff frenzy? One of the two is the close-ups.
Mhm.
It's very simple. It's black and white, but it's aesthetically a good-looking card. But it's so simple, and they're not super rare. It's either a 15 or a 20 card set. It's clean. The way that they did it, it's clean.
32.
It's so
32.
funny too because like in basketball, people just rave about the Playmakers theaters, but the football ones look like 100 times better. Like the basketball ones look so plain compared to the football.
Yeah, and I missed out on the TD because somebody, who was it? What's the guy that Michael knows? The Bronco collector, Dave.
Pete?
No, the other one. I've lost his name. I know you know who I'm talking about.
The Brett?
No,
Boston Broncos?
no.
This is
The
like,
other
yeah,
Broncos guy.
Bronco Man 40, and then there's.
I don't remember his YouTube name,
Oh,
but I was trying to think of what his his actual name was.
Luke.
Thank you, Luke. He sold his Playmaker set. And,
Oh yeah, the full set.
Yep. And I forgot about it and missed out on the only version of that card I've ever seen in the last however many years.
Those are tough.
That one-
Like,
That one hurt. That one hurt.
yeah, I wonder like in this era, like some of these lower numbered parallels, like like the ones numbered to like 50 or less, the ones that you see quite a bit now. Do you think that it'll ever get to the point to where those are just kind of locked up in people's collections like 10, 15 years from now, kind of like those are?
Oh, yeah.
Think so?
I just
Yeah,
think
'cause-
that if you've got a chance to get any of that stuff, it's like you need to pounce.
Yeah, sooner than later. Yeah, sooner than later. Because more and more people are going to truly understand the significance and the rarity of some of those cards from the 90s. Because, I what was it last week? I talked about the playoff gold number to fives. Number to 5 in 97 it's like you can't even relate that to anything nowadays because shit is mass produced. You see cards numbered to 5 all the time. But in 97,
Yeah.
outside of Pinnacle introducing the printing plate 101 type thing, number to 5 is like uber rare.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, what? A card numbered to 5 from 97? What? Are you serious? A card numbered to 10 in 97? Huh? What?
I just often think about that because just from the simple fact that there's so many parallels produced now, and there's fewer and fewer. I feel like there's fewer and fewer player collectors for a lot of the ultra modern guys now. I wonder if that'll change at some point, but I just feel like right now there's not a lot of people that are, like just throw out a guy like I don't know, like Damian Lillard or somebody like that. Like I don't really know anybody that's like, super collecting a guy like that.
Hmm.
I'm sure there probably is for one
Yeah.
reason, but the problem with selecting a player that's in the modern era to super collect,
This volume.
I would advise against it.
Yeah, it's just too much volume. I mean,
Because even for me, like they're still producing a shit ton of Terrell Davis stuff cards.
yeah.
Still to this day. And early on, I appreciated the fact that I had something to go after in newer products.
Yeah.
Now, it's like, will you fucking stop? Because half the crap like from a patch perspective, it's all player worn. I won't sniff it. I won't touch it. Like nothing has sat there and gone, holy shit, I have to have that. Oh, it's player worn. Oh, I don't care. I still have to have it. There has been nothing.
Yeah.
And
That's
that's
why I
the
just buy
frustrating-
it for you.
This is true, which, like, as you know, I appreciate greatly. But it's one of those, like, nothing has just stared at me and been like, buy me, buy me, buy me, buy me. I had an opportunity to buy the dual Logo Man patch auto booklet of TD and Terrell Davis out of one of the year's Flawless. And I'm like, man, that's a beautiful card. And it's player worn. And I'm like, oh, that would be a killer card. And all I kept looking at was the player worn, player worn, player worn. I'm like, no. How can you justify paying $1,000? Because all you're doing is technically buying the 101 and a dual autograph. Like, really?
Yeah. That's kind of what, like I've kept it pretty simple with the Westbrook stuff because there's just so much out there and it's just so damn expensive. Like most of the cards of his that I would want to pick up going forward are they're just too high. Like, I mean, there's no way on most of them. And then the ones that I could purchase, I can't find like his 2015 Prism Gold from the base set. I think I've seen one of those since like 2016. And somebody put it on eBay at like a fairly cheap buy it now, and it got hit just instantly. And I haven't seen another one since then.
Yeah, I regret not picking up my first year Prism Gold of TD.
No. Yeah. See, that's the other one I don't have. And like how much is it for TD in that set?
Last one I saw sold was like $300.
How much do you think Westbrook would sell for in that set?
Almost double.
The last one that sold was like, I think it was like 6,000 or 7,000.
Ungraded?
No, it was like a BGS 9 or 9.5. Maybe it's PSA 9. Yeah.
But then again, basketball first year Prism, like just it went bonkers, like beyond bonkers.
During like the absolute peak, that card, I know it sold once or twice over $20,000.
That's freaking stupid.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way. I mean, there's no way I'm paying anything like that.
Like
out of all the gold prisms that I have of him, I've never paid. Of course, I was buying them, back before COVID. I've never paid over $300 for one.
And for like, but see, that's reasonable, crazy to think, but reasonable.
Yeah.
Like for me, I still, my head is still in, 2014, 2015, 2016,
I
when
know.
those cards came out.
Yeah.
Like I get numbered to 10. I get it. It's rare.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
But considering like all the parallels and all the cards numbered to 10 and everything else
Yeah.
during that era, why did they hold that much of a significant value? That's what I don't understand.
Well, that's the cool thing about the earlier ones is, they didn't have so many parallels. Like 2012, they just had like, the gold and the green and the silver. Like if it was still like that, then, I could get on board with the prices being a little bit higher. But I mean, yeah, like when there's like, like some of these now, like there's like 50 parallels of the same card.
But the other part though is when that product was released, they were $100 a box.
There's like 3 or 4 different golds, like black gold, gold shimmer, gold wave, they have all different golds even.
Yeah, but and again though, look at the price point too. I mean, $100 a box. I'm assuming probably one gold every case, one a case would be my guess.
Well, in 2018, that's Luca's year, right?
Mhm.
So you could buy like the first off the line boxes direct from Panini were 125 hobby boxes.
Yeah.
So I mean that's not that long ago, It's like, and now they're like, what are they, like over 1,000
Oh, probably
for this year?
probably more than that.
I
These
mean, like
days.
this year's,
Yeah.
it's insane.
Yeah,
Like,
because what Prism Football was what $900.
yeah, something like that. It's like stupid. Like, I don't think I've opened a pack of cards in probably the last, I don't know, 4 years.
If I open stuff, it's like stuff like this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Retail
Target.
shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
retail stuff. Because and we talk about this all the time. Manufacturers are doing this on purpose. Costs have not increased that much that justifies that big of an increase in hobby box prices. I'm sorry.
I used to open a ton of like Prism retail, like basketball back in 2017, 2018, even 2019 when you could still find it. I mean, it was hard to find it then, but because that was a Zion year, but I managed to find, some, and it was always fun to open, but I'm not like, I'm not opening at today's prices.
Well, at least retail is more readily available than what it was.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen significant price hikes, so to speak. I mean, Topps up there is for $5 for their blaster boxes for whatever reason. But if you want to get your fix and at least open something, retail is a lot more readily available than what it was during the COVID boom, which is, like I said, which is nice. But even then, like, hobby boxes are still through the roof. And if you're doing it just to open something out of fun, retail, of course, is your better price option. But
It's not good though.
I remember being able to go to the hobby shop and being like, "Hey, I've got $700. What can you throw together?"
You get a lot back then.
And at the time, it's like it has to include absolute, or it has to include triple threads, and you could come back with 4 to 6 boxes for that price point.
I mean, you could have, like, back then you could have bought like National Treasures and still got some more stuff.
Yep. I mean, I paid $1,200 for my case of Exquisite. Good luck trying to buy Exquisite for $1,200 a case now.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
luck.
No, that's not gonna happen. Oh, linchpin.
Lynch
It's
pins.
going to be a repeat, but since Andy's on here,
Yeah,
No.
those are sweet. Love the linchpins. Oh yeah.
Intimidation Nation.
It seems like the football ones of those actually sell fairly cheap, right?
well,
They do.
insanely cheap.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Die cut. Beautiful.
Ah, the rave review. Yeah. Those are almost like one of the. They were like similar to like what people call cracked ice now. Oh yeah, those are the Thrill Seekers. What 96?
Is it 96? Yeah. So rookie year for Raheem and second for Stoudemire.
Yeah.
Lenticular. And those things too are cheap. That I remember they were.
Yeah. See, that's the 97, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like those better. I think the 97s.
Yeah,
Has like a scope pattern on there.
That's a beaut.
was it Ultra Billet? No, Star Power. There's 3 tiers of this: the regular, then there's I think a die cut, and then the acetate.
Yeah, I always get those confused.
It's tough. I mean, it's tough remembering. Like this, there's a regular version that doesn't have like the rainbow foil in it. It's like a 1 in 8 or 1 in 12, and this is I think 1 in 72. The Z-Peat. Z-Peat is Zabu.
Yeah, the Zabu. They always had such a cool play on words back then.
I know. Try to be hip.
Yeah, creativity. What a thing.
Yeah.
Which again, these were never against a 150. But
Anything numbered to 150 back then, though, it's tough to find.
oh, I know.
Oh yeah, those are nice. Big men on court.
Another tough one. Again, this one I don't think I always get suckered in by the.
Oh yeah, those were in EX 2000, 96. Net assets.
Any of the die cut.
Now what are those?
The game dated foil,
Oh, okay.
like the one in was it 2500? I think. It's almost like Black Diamond. Black Diamond became.
Yeah.
I love that one.
Is that like what is that? Prime twine or something?
Yeah, out of hoops of all fucking things.
Hoops had some good stuff, man, back then.
Yeah.
The high voltage came out of Hoops.
That's a beauty.
Golden Touch. Yeah, that's a nice one.
Titanium.
I've talked to a lot of like player collectors, and they say there is no way that there's like 500 of those high voltage 500 cards of each
Oh God,
player.
no. Because
I think
I've
whenever Michael was going after his Grant Hill, I mean, it took him like 5 or 6 years to find one.
Yes, Bobby. I opened the exquisite boxes.
because I think there's 1 to 100 too out of the high voltage. I want to say I've seen that of Raheem, and I'm like, oh, I can try to go after this, and I was like, no, I can't. I don't want to. I mean, I'd love to get it, but I think that, and again, this is a while ago, but it was like 2 days left in the auction. It was up over $200, $300. I'm like, okay, well, that one's not literally in the cards for a while.
Oh yeah, those are nice.
Platinum portraits. God, I love
Yeah,
those cards.
Some of the best.
Noise Boys. Yeah.
Yeah, Dave's got a lot of the big ones for Raheem.
Oh, 92 Elite.
Show a little grippy and end fairly strong.
Oh yeah, that's a strong one to end on for sure. John Bugatti.
Decent grade. That back is black border and chippy, and
Yeah, who cares on those?
then the one that
Oh yeah, the Elite Auto.
was all COVID times when Siakam and the Raptors were in the finals, and I had a PSA 10 Prism Silver. I was able to parlay that, and I think about 10 other cards for a fairly solid chunk of money. And one was the platinum gold Brodeur that I bought, and the other was that. And I mean, there's other stuff, but I've already got a Ripken Auto, but it doesn't matter. That thing is when you're a kid and you're 12 and you see the Beckett nuts in there, it's like, how the hell am I supposed to get that? I've never even seen this shit like that. And I've opened how much 92 Donruss, and Diamond Kings were the only thing I ever pulled out. Never an Elite in anything.
I never pulled an Elite. Never.
I pulled one Doug Drabeck, and I think I actually still have it, and it's in horrible condition.
That was a big pull back then, though. Those puppies, even though they were numbered to like 10,000, I mean,
You did not see them. You just didn't.
there's probably still thousands of them that haven't been
Sealed
pulled.
boxes,
Yeah,
or in the bottom of some river or whatever.
yeah.
For all we know.
There's definitely not 10,000 in circulation of each guy.
No.
Oh hell no, not
I
anywhere
pulled
close.
5 out of Donruss, and then
Of course you did.
yeah, and then I pulled the Lemieux, is the one that comes to mind out of that 96, 97 with C. And I was sitting there and I went nuts. And she's like, "What is wrong with you? You having like a?" I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "But it's to 10,000, Dad." I'm like, "You don't understand. You don't understand." And it's the ugliest year of Elites. They have that bluish background and they're just not
Yeah,
attractive.
I like the 93 4 or 4 5 for hockey with the decal edge.
Edge. That's the second year. That's 95, 96.
95 6. Those ones are
I think Carlos is probably right there.
Plain.
yeah.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Pickups? We got time.
Well, Andy was asking, so yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let's see.
So Andy probably missed this, but my wife just got me this. This is friggin' awesome.
Is that
so that-
actual coin that's embedded into it? or-
96, 97. These cards are hollow. You just press the coin inside.
Ah,
But I never saw. So she got pissed because she bid on this. Then the guy canceled her eBay thing. She had never experienced that before. And then it went on buy it now, apparently, and she took it down. But that's the 24 karat gold plated coin. That's the second hardest one to find. I've never seen the 24 karat straight up solid. I don't know if they even exist, but that's the 96, 97 Pinnacle Mint. So there's what, Dave? Brass, nickel, silver, 24 karat gold plated, and 24 karat, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so, yeah.
Then this just came in today. It's been slow for the mail. So that's out of SP Game Use. There's this red version. This is to 257. Then there's a gold. And then there's the actual base that's numbered to their jersey number. So I got the golds coming in. I ordered it like 3 weeks ago, and it's coming from Canada. And then I got the base one, I think 3 nights ago, maybe 2 nights ago. And then I won this cheap on ComC. auction. Those are the 12-13 Retro EX. So I put all these sets together. I think there's 5 of them for hockey before they stop making the showcase stuff.
I love those acetate cards.
And then
As do I.
my dog, if you ever heard him, Dryden, he passed away last Monday. So I kind of buy a card for just for remembering thing. So first I'll do this. So that dog, if you ever saw him running around here during the podcast.
He was the one making all the noise, right?
No, that was Ghost.
Oh,
Those
okay.
ghosts.
Ghost is the husky. He passed away last year. So when Ghost passed away, I bought that.
Oh, nice.
So that's a 3-color with a 4-color break. So for Dryden, I decided to get something, and I got the prime number autograph. So these are Joe informed me that there are 2 patch autos. So that's out of 172. That's how many playoff, I think it's playoff goals. No, postseason points, 172. So 2 are patch autos. 100 or 99 are just patches or swatches, and then 70 are just the autograph. So this was a steal. 60% of what it was going for in November. So
Yeah, that's a nice bold auto on there too.
yeah, it's on card. It's
Yeah.
hard signed, as the kids say.
Don't
Oh,
ever say
man.
that again.
Hard
You're gonna force
sign.
me to crawl through the freaking camera and strangle you for saying that.
SGC collector. I am not a mechanic. I just have messed up hands, but I do work with tools. I'll put it that way.
I responded for you. I was like, your fingers crack really bad in the winter. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's when they do.
I missed that, but
I had you covered.
yeah, thank you. I appreciate you. Appreciation.
No, he doesn't need to keep up with the Utes, Carlos. Like whoever invented that nomenclature of hard sign needs to be kicked in the testicles.
And then I picked that up. There you go, Jeff Morris.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's from Shorzy. The other one's global back ordered forever. Yeah, I like sent them an email and they were like, yeah, we're going to get it in eventually. I said, can you define eventually? He's like, we'll send it when we get it. I said, we'll be in the next 3 months. Possibly. Okay, so there's a chance. Because the other one is the one I really want because it has the bulldog and it says set the tone, which is the theme to Shorzy season 2. So I really want that shirt. So I let it roll on global back order. These come from Canada. They're about the slowest shipping company known to man, but I have a whole Shorzy wardrobe.
At least you didn't get a response of it's delayed for reasons.
Yeah. I think the exact reason was the supplier, something to do with the supplier. They're back ordered on the shirts because apparently none of the shirts are the same that they use to press these. So, I don't know. All I know is 2X is getting too big for me. So that's
Good. I'm guessing that's where he's asking if you order them from.
Yeah.
oh no, they're from the Letterkenny website. So I just went to whatever if you follow them on Instagram, Letterkenny or Shorzy, there's a link. You just go to the link and it it takes you there. And I bought, those are the ones that I wore every day to the national. And I had all the Canadian guys wait. Like if you were Canadian, you saw me and you thought I was Canadian too, because I was the only American wearing hockey stuff, maybe with the exception of Sal Berry, the puck junk guy. Other than him, or possibly David, maybe Joseph, possibly Mike, because there weren't. I don't know what the. No, Ted Hitchcock is a character to play with. Oh, Hitch. Now I got you. Yeah. Oh, like 10-inch cock. Yeah, that's him. The long story, but
A 10-inch story.
Ted Hitchcock.
actually,
Not familiar.
like,
That one.
if I don't know when, if I get another dog, I'm pretty much gonna name him Hitch. I think
That's a good name.
Yeah. So I got Galaxy left, who's sniffing under the refrigerator because he thinks food dropped. But
So Andy, I know you probably didn't watch last week's episode.
I have. I'm usually watching games on this night.
I'm giving you shit, Andy. So
Like, Tuesdays and Fridays are tough, like during basketball season for me.
this is not a pickup, but since we were talking about, rare, low numbered stuff, I showed this. I put this on Instagram, and I also showed it last week.
Now, what is that product? What is that from?
So
Flair Gowdy.
So second series or series 2, that's what the 2 stands for. That's the insert set. But this is the wooden parallel.
Those are the ones actually made out of wood,
Yep.
right? Okay.
But numbered to 10 from 97.
I'm trying to think of. I've seen one of those at a show before. I can't remember which player it was, but those are like those are like unicorns.
Like when I bought it, I don't even. It's been 6 or 7 years ago at least since I acquired that card, and at the time it was listed, I'm like, what the fuck is this? So of course I went and did my due diligence, because like sometimes people put random descriptions and titles and stuff, and you're like, okay, wait a minute, is this real? Is this legit? So I did my due diligence, and I'm like, holy shit. So of course I had to have it, being a player collector. And like I never knew that card existed. Like Flair Gowdy is not a product that I opened anyways, or would have ever opened. So I would have never known of its existence as it is. But like you said, unicorn.
Have you seen one since then?
No,
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
no. There's multiple listed out there from like either ComC or on eBay from other players, because it's not just running backs. The whole big time backs is not just running backs. There's also I think Favre's in it. Marino may be in it. So it also has quarterbacks. But on my post on Instagram, I even I took a picture of the notation from the almanac, just so people could understand. It's like, and the notation even says something along the lines of a stealth parallel that was unannounced.
That's crazy.
So, but like I'd never seen another Terrell Davis ever, which I'm okay with because I at least got mine. But there are
that's
other
a good
ones out
idea.
there.
Like, I think that would be something cool if Fanatics did something like that, where they put some kind of parallel in there, and if somebody pulled it, they're like, "What the hell is this? This isn't on the checklist." Like, just don't even talk about it. You just put it in there.
Well, that's what they did with the taco fractors.
I'm gonna need something a little cooler than that.
I don't disagree, but you know, and that's what's interesting though. Like the thrill of the hunt. Because I mean, I remember 97 Pinnacle and their advertisement and stuff on packs, you know, printing plates. That was the thing.
Hmm.
First introduction of printing plates being released in pack products, all 4 plates, front and back, which they don't do. They only do the front plate. That's what they issue nowadays when they put it in products. But Pinnacle did both the front and back.
Yeah.
And good luck trying to find one.
Yeah.
My oldest legitimate plate is from 2001 Topps Gallery, and it's a magenta plate.
Those were big deals back then, right?
Oh yeah.
The plates, like it's kind of become, I don't know.
It's overdone.
Yeah.
It's overdone now
Yeah.
because
They're-
it was a cool concept. It was a cool idea. Something that, like I said, Pinnacle introduced it in 97. And then it kind of took a backseat a little bit. And then there was the resurgence. And then it was like every freaking product you
Yeah.
could get a plate in afterwards. It's like, okay, now we've oversaturated it. It's overdone now. Stop.
Yeah. They take something cool and make it uncool.
Yeah. Plates and patches.
Yeah.
They have a whole product on
True.
it now.
Yeah, that's true. Plates and patches. Jeez.
It's like, holy crap. But
Well, boys, I got to run. It's my bedtime. I got to get up in the morning and try to go do some work, I guess. But
That's
thanks for
getting
having me
closer.
on.
absolutely. Good to see you, Andy.
Always a good time.
Glad you could jump on. Always good conversation.
Always
Yeah.
good conversation. Always get to see some badass 90s stuff.
Courtesy of Dave, it would require me to actually like pull out the boxes and be prepared. But since Dave doesn't like to inform anybody, it's kind of hard to be prepared.
Yeah.
And one of the times I want you to get a hold of Michael, and we got to get him on here too with you. And
Yeah, he's actually so here within the next couple of months, he's actually moving here to Oklahoma City.
okay, well,
Yeah,
that'll be
so
good.
I know I'll let him know. I know it's going to be tough like over the next month or two because I know he's going to be busy like selling their house and boxing stuff up, and I know he's going to be traveling to Oklahoma City some kind of like making the transition to this job. But yeah, I know he would like to come on here and talk some of this stuff. I mean, this is his world.
You planning on making a Dallas show anytime soon, Andy?
Maybe next month. Kind of depends. I know JT had talked about coming and setting up at one of the Dallas shows, so I know if he comes and sets up, I'll at least go down there and visit with him some.
Reach out to me because like that's the only reason why I would go is just to see some of you guys.
Yeah, that's really the only reason I do it now. Like at shows, I hardly ever buy anything.
Because I mean, you're what? Because I'm east of Denton, which is an hour from the Oklahoma border. So
Yeah.
we're far from you,
Yeah,
but
yeah, it's about 2.5 hours, maybe a little more to get there to that show for me. But yeah, I'll check with JT, see if he's still planning on setting up there. Cause yeah, I'd like to go and visit with him. And he's been setting up at a lot of shows, so he might be doing it.
I've noticed that. But maybe freaking go grab a bite to eat or some shit and just hang out.
Sounds good.
Might
Let me
see
know.
it at the National. If I go, it's still 50-50.
50-50, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's better than zero.
Next year's
Well, yeah.
definite, but you
Yeah,
two
yeah,
those two guys.
Yeah, we're 0 for this year.
Yeah.
Are you 0 too, Dave?
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna transpire with like softball and all that stuff, and I think
Yeah.
our goal is to get up to Canada for the expo in November.
Ah, yeah.
So
That
Yeah,
is
I'll-
already penciled
I'd
in.
like to go to that one at some point too.
cause
Phillips.
and see if we can get some attention like we got in Chicago.
Yeah, for sure. All right, boys. Have a good night.
Night, Andy.
Andy.
All right.
Take care.
See ya. Thanks.
Wrap us up, Dave.
Ghost
Unless
is
you-
YouTube infamous. You mean the dog that made all the noise? No, the quiet one. The one that didn't make any noise. That was Dryden.
Well, thank you all for watching again. Nice to have all the comments of everybody and help sort of direct some of the conversation.
Quick Super Bowl pick. Real
Oh
quick.
yes, we have to do that. Sort of tie that around from like 10 minutes in.
Well, we just a quick guess.
Kansas City 23, San Fran 21.
Oh, you're even going scores.
Well, you said a guess, so there we are.
San Francisco 28-24.
San Francisco 35, Kansas City 27.
Damn, he's going for like a shootout. Mike's got the Chiefs. Guess we'll see Sunday.
I don't care who wins, but I'd rather see San Fran win.
Well, so that's why I'm rooting for San Francisco.
I've had enough.
That's a clean sweep. I want to. Not that I want to see them win. I don't want to see Kansas City win. So
Wow.
the option is San Fran.
Well, even though they tied Pittsburgh with the Super Bowls and all that much good out of it, it's just
I want it for Purdy and I want it for Christian.
I want
Purdy's a great story.
Yep.
Christian McCaffrey's just a good dude, man.
Kittle plays for them, doesn't he?
He does.
He's pretty good too.
He's a solid person too. He's not stuck up and pompous like the other tight end on the other team.
I like his brother. His brother seems like a solid dude.
He is a solid dude. Family man.
What he did for that little girl, picking her up so she could see Taylor Swift. That's a pretty decent human being.
But anyways,
I hope they win it for John Taylor and Roger Craig.
really. Of course, I am also a big John Lynch fan, because he was an ex-Bronco. So, I can't hate on the GM.
I hope Eddie DeBartolo gets his ring. There's a stand-up guy.
What was the linebacker? I got you last Christmas. Can't think of his name. He was San Francisco rookie. Then he came over.
Romo?
Romanowski.
Yeah, Romanowski. Because I me in football, I didn't know who his rookie was. And I'm like, I just searched it out. I'm like, he was drafted by the 49ers. I never knew that. But I did know that friggin' Joe Montana's rookie year is not 90s tops. Come on, people.
81.
I'm aware.
1981.
But when somebody goes, I think Joe Montana, I hope the guy was being funny. But if he was serious, he said he knows nothing about football. But
That would be a
that
statement.
would demonstrate that statement to its fullest capabilities.
Well, yeah, because that's pretty scary. Because 90, the main rookie from 90 was Emmitt Smith.
Yeah.
Not anywhere close.
No. When I heard that, it was on an Instagram story. I'm like, really? Really? I'll go buy some 90 tops boxes because they're a lot cheaper than 81.
by a few cases and not even touch like an 81 pack.
Well, I noticed some stuff starting to go down. So the older panini wax for hockey is dropping a little bit, which was quite surprising. I'm quiet on the wax front right now, but I always have my toe in the water.
Yes, we know this.
And I'm sorry, Mike. I was thinking about Hitchcock, the freaking
Alfred Hitchcock. Is
no,
that
Ted Hitchcock, the hockey
Coach.
player, the coach.
for the Stars.
Yeah, and
No,
that
that was Ken Hitchcock.
Ken Hitchcock. That's what my brain was going to, and I'm like, I thought his name wasn't. I didn't think it was Ted. Then I didn't even put two together, and yeah,
That's what
it's
happens.
been a
when
long 2 weeks, fellas. It's been a long 2 weeks.
We get it, man. Continue wrapping us up, Dave. Sorry.
Tybo
Yeah.
on it.
Thank you, everyone watching. Thank you again for everybody that voted for us. Happy you guys voted and you thought of us, because I know a lot of people out there didn't even get one vote or a mention. So essentially, that's the bottom rung. That's the bottom of the barrel. Even the bottom rung is above that. So when you don't have any credentials to check at the door, you don't have to come to the party. So it is what it is, fellas. It is what it is. Thank you, Andy, popping on again. I usually send him a link once a month, knowing full well he's got stuff going on, but he actually texted me like right back. Like, I might be able to make it on depending on the timing of this game and how it goes. So whatever you got to do, man. Again, it's not like we're pushing you in and say you got to do it.
Open
I send
invitation.
when I send links to people and they can make it, that's a plus. When they can't, no hard feelings. So next week, yeah, I don't know what it'll be. Probably some Super Bowl recap, and I mean, because that won't be out there at all.
No, never.
Might dive into a little more of the Vince McMahon thing.
I haven't been reading up on it.
We'll let you take the lead.
Well, I'll lead, but you guys got to read because it is wild shit.
I know it's related to sexual misconduct related type situations, but outside of that,
Yes, and then some.
and Lesnar's been implicated in some of it.
And
I've seen
so-
headlines, but I haven't read articles on it.
Let's see if I can find one that goes through like the full report, just to send it to you guys to browse through it. Because I think once you browse through it, it'll be like, I might want to take a little deeper peek, because there is a lot of debauchery, deviant activity, just sinister. You knew Vinnie Mac was pretty much a cup of shit
Piece of
before, but it's like you read through this and you're like, what? So, again, it's him and the previous president are very close friends, and you can see it's like when you see the double helix, that's basically those two in their proclivities and extracurricular activities intertwining, because they're basically one and the same. You want to tell somebody, well, here's some money, be quiet. So might talk about that. I don't know. We'll figure something out. We'll review the Pro Bowl.
No.
Or the crap that is the NHL All-Star weekend. Good God Almighty! All I have to say is Justin Bieber's coat, and that you know what I'm talking about. Bring back the regular East versus West All-Star game. No money. You play for the glory of it, and be done, please. but next year there won't be one. It's like,
The Nations Cup, 5 Nations Cup or something.
yeah, and then they're letting them do the
Olympics.
in 26 and 30. So
Anyways,
that was my turn to derail, Dave.
Again, try to get all the stuff in and try to, again, well, it's pertinent instead of 3 weeks later talking about an all-star game that 6 people watched. At least it's right here and now and tip of the mind. What else? R.I.P. Toby Keith.
yeah.
Say that.
God.
I know there's more.
Rocky. Come on.
Yeah, Carl Weathers.
Our Weathers.
That's the two main ones that I remember.
My Uncle Sonny, Sunday. Ma sent that, and that was right after watching the Grammys, the In Memoriam, and then seeing one of the rappers I followed heavily in the 90s because he and Timbaland had a CD together. Timbaland and Magoo, which again, probably will get the crickets from here, but that's all right. I saw that and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? What? Oh, what? So, and found out he like died in August. So I was like even more thrilled with the ability for news to come out. And so, oh, yeah. As Casey Kasem used to say, and the hits just keep on coming. So with that, thank you all again. Remember, that's Steve. That's Benny. Me, I'm Dave. Collecting, it's a wonderful hobby. The friendships you forge along the way, it's what really matters. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.